Fuck. I had this whole bit, and then I like got in my own head because I was like, oh, it's gonna be really fucking stupid if you do that.
Should that be our intro then? Just you doing that?
I guess.
I think I love that for the intro.
Yeah, that only works out.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is that on the last month that I was living in Cleveland, I had the worst fucking commute back home just so we could do this podcast. We always did it on like a Tuesday or Thursday because that's whenever I went into work.
Yeah.
And I moved to Columbus, didn't have to leave for work at all. So my commute was, I don't leave my desk. We just start doing the podcast at whatever time. Well, now we're doing these fucking episodes in person. And as much as I love coming over here, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass because the drive should be 20 minutes.
Yes.
I think I was in traffic for 35.
Yeah. And what better way that we can discuss Ohio than traffic, especially in Columbus. Columbus traffic sucks ass because there's three roads you can practically go on.
And before we even go, this is the official friendship podcast of the Columbus Clippers.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, since we got it wrong and we wanted to be confidently wrong.
You're telling me it wasn't the pirate ships?
I hate to break it to you, but it is the Columbus Clippers.
Damn.
But let me tell you, pirate ships for some reason just comes off, like rolls off the tongue at this point.
It actually took me a second to realize what you were even talking about.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember anything from last episode. Shocker. But I
literally just said what we were going to talk about out in the kitchen, and then you said, do you have any idea what we're going to talk about?
Look, my memory is not the greatest, but I do remember actually a lot about what we're going to be actually talking about.
Yeah.
But before that, the traffic sucks. It blows ass. And I think what we could do to easily get past that would be we could probably just start a little bit later so you don't have to worry about the traffic as much. But for right now, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It sucks because the last 2 times that I've come here for the podcast, it's been shitty. Like the last time when my roommate was with me, she was getting nauseous and she getting uncomfortable. Like she's not good like riding in the car. And then this week I realized I can't even drive in this traffic because it sucks so much. Like I'm getting sick sitting in this traffic. I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm getting nauseous. Like the sun's blaring in my eyes. I don't have my sunglasses with me. It's just a whole fucking bonk.
Yeah. Which then the reason why we had it this way is because I am the one who actually does drive to work. So then I was selfishly, I was like, look, I need to at least be home long enough to get the dog outside.
Right. It's not even that you drive to work. It's just that you have a dog that will shit on the floor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like the one who gets home the earliest to let her out. So then waiting even longer or waiting for my roommate to get home, we never know when she gets home. So it's, yeah, she's constantly out for milk and cigarettes, and it's just, it's hard to know when my roommate's going to come home.
Sometimes it's like a week, sometimes it's months.
Yeah. I just kind of leave the door open for her and unlock just whenever she wants to walk in and out.
Yeah, come and go as you please.
Yeah, she'll love that. I'm sure I'll hear about that. But Andy, we're not, even though we're talking about Ohio, because this is the Ohio podcast with the Columbus pirate ships, that was not what our discussion is. I'm full steam ahead on keeping us on track today.
I feel
but before we keep on track,
right?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this was I was thinking about it on the drive here since I had a long commute. I was thinking we gotta hit Nashville. We've been talking about it for so long. It's just we got to do it this time.
Absolutely.
So Isaac, my boy.
Oh my God.
I just needed to scratch my eye.
Oh, okay. I thought you were actually like,
No.
For those who aren't watching, and he took off his glasses in such
I'm
a way
really
that...
glad that you did that, explain that, because the past 2 episodes, we would do stuff and it would just be like quiet, or it would just be like I would do something and then I would be like reenacting something or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we would just look at each other.
Yeah.
But no one would like understand if they're just like listening on Spotify.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
yeah.
We gotta realize that we have the camera now, which sometimes I just forget about completely.
Well, yeah.
Which is normal. But,
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some. But Nashville,
baby.
go ahead and start us off, Andy.
So Nashville was a trip that had been planned, or had one of our friends that lives in Memphis has been talking about us going to Nashville for a long time. This has been before even Isaac was introduced to this group.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually the plans just came to be like, all right, you've been talking about Nashville, we've been talking about Nashville, let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pick a weekend. And we finally did it. We finally got it all figured out. And then I said, you know what, let's also invite Isaac. Like, I think he'd have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think like, it would be something that he'd be into. So,
which was also right around the perfect time, because that's when I actually started talking to the group as well.
right, exactly.
We all started playing video games together.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it was like actually kind of like a perfect storm.
Mm-hmm. So that's just a little background. I don't want to just say, I wasn't trying to go into the history of everything.
I want to know the date that this started, that you guys thought about doing
Yeah,
this.
it was actually in 2005 when we started talking about Nashville. For some reason, there was a strong desire to go there.
I thought you were going to say, it started with a bang, and then there was light.
Well, I did. I tried thinking, like, throwing it back to, like, the Bible of some sort, but yeah, here we are. So, I mean, I don't know where to start with it. Like, should we start, was there wasn't much on, like, the drive there. There wasn't anything eventful about that.
No, I mean,
I think it was just like the things we did.
Yeah, I mean, I would say though, for me, it was kind of wild because I literally met no one in that group except for you. Mm-hmm. Everyone else I've talked to on PlayStation, one guy never even talked to in general, and
he also, like, I've maybe met him once, so like having a whole entire weekend with him.
It was nice. It was really nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was just like, I don't know how he's going to mesh with the group, but he meshed pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm saying that as you are the one who has not met any of them. Like, you already, for some reason, already meshed with them well.
I think it's because of the humor.
Yeah.
Like, which... I almost sidetracked this, Andy. I want to sidetrack us so bad because I found out that my humor, or our humor, just baffles other people. But that's another time.
Okay.
But I do think the humor.
You wanna write that down?
I'm just not gonna remember that. I'm really hoping that you're gonna remember.
Well, I'm the one who looks at the episode, or like edits the episode, so I'll be like, oh, there's something I need to remind Isaac about. Yeah.
Like, and it'll be like 2 seconds before the podcast, and I'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
And in the podcast, I'll remember.
And then you'll interrupt another thing. I'm sorry.
No, but I think that was really about it. Like, for like before we actually got to Nashville, because I was just like, I don't no idea who any of these people are. Like, John answered the door, or like knocked on the door, and I opened it up, and I was like, oh, that's what you look like. Okay, so it was just really funny, and then got to spend was it 6-hour car ride?
Yeah.
From Columbus to Nashville.
It may have been shorter. John was driving like a maniac.
Yeah, it was.
Which it didn't even feel like he was. It was just like we were all just talking. We didn't even realize how fast we were going.
The only thing that I can remember from the drive to Nashville was that it was either extremely hot in the car or it was extremely cold. And if you were sitting in the back seat, you couldn't hear jack shit.
Yeah, you were like... What?
Yeah, like it was so bad. Which, like, he has a it was a 4Runner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So like, for whatever reason, that 4Runner just had no. You just couldn't hear shit in the backseat. I don't know.
I
what
always
it was.
feel bad whenever I'm in any backseat because like I can't hear. Like we just went over this in the last episode. I can't hear for shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm doing that thing where I'm putting my head in between the headrests.
Yeah.
To stay in the conversation. It's not even like I have to be in the conversation, but if someone asks me a question, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hear you if I don't.
Oh yeah.
If you're not screaming into my ear.
Yeah, and especially we had music going on too, because like, what else are you gonna fucking do in a 6-hour ride?
Mm-hmm.
Like we made conversation the whole entire time, which was kind of cool,
Kind of surprising.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like there was a few times where we just kind of like trailed off, but like we picked it right back up.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the only thing that I would really say was interesting. And then whenever we got to Nashville, we didn't go to the house right away. We went to go get groceries. We went to go get groceries and alcohol, which, holy shit.
Right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
How do you not remember? Well, first with the grocery trip,
It was a blanket out of my memory.
It was the most, how do I put this? It was the most male grocery shopping I've ever seen. We were like, do you want that? Yeah. Toss it in the cart. Got it. Do you guys like this? No, not really. Fuck it. We don't need it. Do you guys care what kind of bread we get? It's bread. What do you mean? Got it. Get it in there. You guys have, do you prefer this type of peanut butter? It's fucking peanut butter.
Like
what are you talking about?
It was the peanut butter was the most shocking to me.
Yeah.
We walked up to the peanut butter and there was like Jif, and then there was like Kroger brand peanut butter, and we were like, do we need to get Jif? And we're like, well, the Kroger brand is like $2 cheaper. Fucking throw it in.
Yeah.
It's like
it was just so like, it was such fast, like, yeah, we're fine. And honestly, those groceries lasted us the whole entire time,
They did.
which was crazy.
I'm glad they did because I didn't want to have to go. I mean, I guess we went back to the grocery store on the last night, but that was just to pick up some more alcohol and some water.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, but that we went through the amount of alcohol that we did.
Well, kind of, sort of. I feel like in a group of 5 guys.
Great burgers.
Yeah. Great fries.
Yeah, great fries too.
You're going to pound through like the amount of alcohol that we had.
That's true.
I feel like the first night, though, I didn't go as hard. It was definitely...
That would be correct.
But, I mean, my not going as hard is not the same level as everyone else's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone has different levels.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think I capped it out at like 4 beers. I could not... For some reason, it was not sitting right with me.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I feel like we're getting into this at this point. The one guy that we were with that we didn't know, his name's Matt.
Mm-hmm.
He was just absolutely shitting on us for drinking Yingling. And like,
I thought you were gonna say he outdrank us.
Oh, he did. First of all,
monster.
he looks better than me and Isaac combined.
Hey, he said, how old was he?
He's 30.
Yeah,
he's 29, I think.
Okay, but still, he looked like he was 18.
Yeah.
I call bullshit.
I know.
I call bullshit. And he drank us under the table.
Yes.
I was like, Matt, step on the brakes. What the fuck are you doing, bud?
He just kept, I mean, he was drinking light beer, but even still, like,
crazy.
I couldn't drink that many light. Also, it was fucking Modelo.
Yeah.
I have a few of those still in my fridge from that trip. They're gonna be in my fridge for the rest of my life. I can't drink those.
No?
I'm not.
Bring them over. I'll drink them. I don't give a
Well,
fuck.
you drink anything.
That is true. I just drank a Busch Light the other night, and I was like, "This is ass,"
This
but
is terrible,
I'm
but-
getting rid of it for
Yeah.
you. Whatever. Yeah.
It's like the Bush Peach.
That
Except
sucked.
you couldn't drink that.
That is true.
That actually surprised me.
But that was after like 5 of them, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. These suck.
Well, that's so like during my time in college. I don't want to derail it too much, but like I would drink Natty Light, like not Natty Light, but like the Natter days because like they were new and like they seemed fun. They weren't good. But I would drink them enough. I would either drink them enough for them to taste like nothing, or I would drink them enough to realize these are terrible and I need to drink something else.
That's what I ran into.
Yeah.
I drank it to the point where I was like, oh my God, I realized what these taste like.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is awful. But that's not Nashville, Andy. I'm keeping us on track.
Right on. So Matt, from the get-go, is shitting on us for drinking Yingling.
Yes. Day one, like that night, we asked people what beer did we want, and for whatever godforsaken reason, Nashville does not believe in any fucking beer in any grocery store, anything.
Even a liquor store, like the liquor store that we went to had a good amount of liquor in it.
Yeah.
But the beer section, half of the beer was out.
Yeah.
It wasn't refrigerated. Yeah. All the refrigerated beer was like 6-packs. So like that's fine for like if you want to get started, but it's not enough.
Not enough for the amount of people we had.
Like,
and
everyone gets one beer.
Yeah, and every single beer they had in there, somebody in the group had an issue with, which I will say that probably didn't help us, which after a while we were like, fuck, we don't care. Just get whatever you want. But that was definitely something that worked against us there for sure, because there was definitely beer in the fridge, but every one of us were like, that gives me a huge headache. I can't do that. That gives me this. Like, it was something along those lines. So like we didn't help ourselves. I
was very much just like, I fucking hate Miller Lite. I will not drink Miller Lite.
Yeah, we both agreed with that.
Yeah.
We were like, no Miller Lite, and then we were left with Busch Light, and we were like, no,
we can find it somewhere else.
Like, I really don't think we want to do Busch. And then the other one that they had like a consistent amount of was Coors, and I was like, which I did find that I like Coors Banquet, but
Coors
not
Banquet
just normal Coors.
Is good.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, but we eventually found beer after who knows how many fucking stores.
And the
beer that we wanted at least.
John walked up to the cashier in that liquor store and he said, "Where's like the nearest like just beer distributor?" And the guy said, he gave him a name, but I can't remember what it was. And then John looked it up, and as we were opening the door for his car, he's like, "They're closed already." And we were there at like what, 2?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
they were had the weirdest times. They were like
the weirdest hours,
4:30 to 1 o'clock, and I was like, "What the fuck? What is this?" I was like, "What are you doing?"
Anyone that can drink is probably jobless. Like everyone, like someone that gets off of work, they can't drink because they just can't go out and get it.
Yeah, it was wild, but
it was like the most not Nashville, Tennessee thing.
Yes, which we were also in the hood when we first got there.
Yeah,
for sure. Like for sure, we were like, we got there and we were like, oh, we're like just outside of Nashville. We were like, okay, like I see what's going on here, but we found everything. And the first night, we both of us said, maybe we're not going to go too hard the first night. Like I think even John agreed as well. Like, yeah, let's not go too hard. That went out the window immediately.
Yeah,
that immediately went out the window. But it wasn't before the best fucking hot chicken in the world. That came with the price.
That's a good fucking point.
Yeah. Yeah, that hot chicken that we had was some of the best chicken ever, but they have an issue.
So if you are ever in, which apparently because your roommate had mentioned that she also had it, but she wasn't in the area that we were in.
Yeah, apparently there were two different locations.
There's different locations. If you're in Nashville and you want some good fucking hot chicken, of course there's like one place that's like very like well known for their hot chicken. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
It's right on the main strip. It's
we passed it multiple times.
Yeah, it was just
we were
so
walking
busy
around. But it's called Granddaddy's Hot Chicken. It was really good. Ooh. And Mitch kept hyping up. This is a guy that lives in Memphis, so like he's used to the hot chicken. He kept hyping up like the chicken there being so good. Not necessarily this place because he's never been there.
Yeah.
But we go there. Everyone's getting their level of heat. Mm-hmm. Matt says he can't handle heat, so he gets them plain. Mm-hmm. You and I get mild.
Which was number 2 of 7.
Yes, which is insane.
That's a key point in this story.
I think it was like nothing, and then I can't remember what was. Yeah, it was nothing, mild, medium, hot.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, it was like
some wild ass names.
Yeah, it was like extremely hot. I'm gonna kill you. And then I'm gonna eat your soul was the last one I think it was.
Right.
Yeah, something along those lines.
So, and then John and Mitch both got hot,
which was number
3. Yeah, it was like 4.
No, it was one step above ours. It was 3.
That's right. Because I was thinking of like nothing on it as 1, but
that was technically like 0, I think.
Yeah. So we sat down and they brought out the chicken for some of us. I can't remember who, but whatever. They put it on the table. And they come over with another order and they say, this one's mild. And we're like, no one ordered mild. And Matt was just like, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
And we just kind of all agreed that they weren't going to let him just have
no way
naked chicken.
Yeah, no way. They heard mild, or they heard nothing and they said, mild? Okay, mild. Yeah, you said mild, right? And it's like, no, I said nothing. Mild? Okay, sure, we'll get that. Yeah, they were not letting him have that.
Which I would have been interested to try it. To see like if it was like a good chicken to just go and eat.
He said it was pretty good, which I mean, ours that we had, which was a level heat of 2, phenomenal.
I don't even remember the taste of them because I took maybe 2 bites out of it, and then Mitch is over there like sweating.
Yeah,
from his hot chicken, and he says, "Hey, try this bite," and he gives me like. For those of you that can see, it's like a baseball size of a piece of chicken.
Both him and John are sweating, and John said at one point, "I think I'm going to go outside and throw up." That I heard those words, and then he took another bite, and he said, "Oh, I'm really going to throw up."
Yeah. So I just go for it, and I just eat the whole entire thing, and within seconds, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And then I start tearing up, and I'm actually like dripping sweat. I'm like dripping from tears. And the cook comes over and he's asking us all like, "How's everything going? Like is the food good?" And we're all saying like it's fantastic. I'm sitting there silent. I can't say a single word. I'm not looking at him. I'm staring down at the ground because I don't want him to see that I'm like tearing up and crying.
I feel like if you could see Andy, like he looked like he was giving a 1,000-yard stare, and he was just hearing helicopter noises and machine gun shots. Like it was that much distress in a man while sweating. Like
it was a
wild.
Lot. Yeah,
but. Some of the best fucking chicken.
It was so good, and we even tried on the day that we were leaving. We wanted to go there, but we just wanted to I think by the time we were done, we just wanted to go. Like we didn't not have a good time or anything. We were just like, all right, we have a 6-hour drive, and the time difference is gonna fuck with us. So we gotta get home.
Absolutely. Which then after our hot chicken, that's when we had our first night of drinking after making sure that everyone got their proper beer. So we all got the beer that we wanted, and we got it back to the house. And that's when we started our first night, which we said we're not going to drink hard, and proceeded to drink hard with drinking games. And honestly, I think that night I probably got a hangover because I probably had every bit of like 6 or 8 beers. I truly don't remember. Like I remember at one point we were playing drinking games, and I was getting so fucked on drinking games that I just like had my head on the table, and I was like, "Why me? Why?"
We played a game called Fuck the Dealer.
I got fucked on that one.
Which that one. Well, and then there's that one, and there was like up the river, down the river. I think that Fuck the Dealer was you just have to guess if the card was higher or lower than the card that was flipped.
Yeah.
Okay. And then up and down the river, I don't really remember that one. I don't really remember what was like the whole goal of that.
I don't want to go too far into detail because I don't know how much we really want to, but it was pretty much you just flip a bunch of cards, and whoever has those matching cards would have to drink, and then you would go down the river, and then whoever Whoever matched those cards could give that people the amount of drinks. So that one was a nice relaxing one. And then we also played King Cup.
Yeah, we finished the night with Kings, and I think we only played 2 games, and it came down to the wire.
Yes,
on both of them.
Which we also, while talking about this, we're only drinking beer, but we had a mixed drink that Andy and his family call Bullfrog, and that was the King Cup. And for those who don't know King Cup or Kings, you pretty much play a card game, and then whoever loses has to drink the drink in the middle. And that can be various drinks or could be just one giant drink, just depending. And that was our cup. And we got, it plumb fucked us up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The best part about it was throughout the whole entire weekend, we played maybe 6 or 7 games of Kings, and Mitch got the King Cup
every single time.
Probably, other than I think you got it once, and I said I would take it.
I got it twice.
Okay, well I told you I would take one of them because it was Bullfrog, and I wanted to drink the Bullfrog. Like I'm sitting there, like I just want the Bullfrog.
The second one that I received was before we went out to drink the next night. And it was a warm beer.
Well, yes, and you shotgunned that.
I did indeed shotgun that.
You took off your shirt and you shotgunned that bitch.
Which can lead us into day 2 because because in reality, that was our first night. We just drank and got to know each other really, or for those who didn't know each other, we got to know each other. Second day, we actually got to explore Nashville, downtown Nashville,
in the blistering heat.
Fucking, it was hot. And Andy and I got to buy some cowboy boots. So we rocked cowboy boots that whole entire time, which was awesome. And then that was the night that we said, we're going downtown Nashville. Let's fucking do it. We're going to the bars. We're doing whatever. And so that night we proceeded to get destroyed at the house pretty much. Like Andy was like, I don't know if I'm going to go too hard. I'm like, I really don't think I'm going to go too hard. 6 beers later before we go out, I went hard.
I couldn't believe how fucking hard we all actually. I didn't even drink it at the house very much because I thought I don't want to get too fucked up. But we go out and we start it at some bar. There's all the country singers in the world that you can think of that like they have a bar downtown. Yeah. So I'm not even going to try to name which ones we were at. I know that we went to the first one. We were having a good time. Everyone was ordering Coronas. The 4 of us ordered Coronas. I ordered a rum and Coke. That's always just my drink of choice when I go out to the bar. It's just easy. For the most part, it's cheap. And for what you get, you get a good amount of liquor in it. Yeah,
which I think at that first bar, after like I don't even know, like my 5 or so beers I had beforehand, I had 2 beers at that first place. And then did you buy a whole round for everybody at that first place?
I don't think I did there. But we got free Jello shots, I think, because there was like cards on the table. Yeah. Eventually, I think I bought you a rum and Coke too because you said
at that first bar.
Yes. Yeah. Because
I had a lot more to drink than I remember.
Yeah, because you said we were trying to get the singleman out onto the dance floor on the dance floor. And you said, if I get a rum and Coke in me, I'll go out on the dance floor. I don't care. But we're just having a good time. We're not out there to meet anyone. Yeah. We're not single men.
No.
So
we got roommates.
I immediately we do have roommates. Yeah, you're right. I immediately get you a rum and Coke, but we don't dance on the we don't go dance or like do anything. We're just still planted there.
Yeah.
But as we continue the night, we go to different bars. The train of rum and Coke continues. Like from that bar, that's just what we drink for the rest of the night. And it's just like they just don't care about how much alcohol is put in there. No. Like that was the best part. Like it might have been expensive, but they were fucking good. They were loading them up.
Mm-hmm.
We went to, I mean, I don't think we have to go into every detail for the different bars that we went to, but
no, I mean they were awesome bars. If you've never been to Nashville, definitely go to Nashville. They had great music, live music everywhere you went.
Everything, yeah.
If they didn't have live music, they had a DJ that was very good. So definitely suggest going to Nashville, especially if you like to party. My only suggestion is get drunk beforehand because one beer will cost you $12. So it fucking added up.
I don't know why. I mean, I've said this before. When it comes to me getting drunk, I'm just very dangerous with my money. I just I'll buy a round for the whole group. I'll just keep drinking, and I don't care about the money until the next day. And even then, I'm like, well, it happened.
Yeah,
that's how I was in college too. I would just I would know that when I'm going out to the bar, I'd be like, all right, I'm spending $40 this weekend. I mean, that's not much, because we went to Kent State University, but at some point at one of the bars, Matt was talking to some girl, or some girl just started talking to him. He's just sitting there trying to get a drink for all of us, and he said something about he said they had the thickest Minnesota accent he's ever heard in his life.
He's like, I couldn't fucking understand a word she was trying to say to me.
And he was just I needed to get out of there, but no one was in sight. And then I finally made eye contact with Mitch, and Mitch had saved him or something. And I think at that point, we were just we were walking around like we fucking owned the world. We just
That's because we had probably at this point, I know I had 2 beers and a rum and coke. That second bar we went to, we had, oh gosh, did we have 3 rum and coke? No, we had 1 rum and coke. We went to a second bar, and then the third bar we went to, we had either 2 or 3 rum and cokes at that bar.
It was either way. I don't remember. Trying to count it is insane.
Yeah,
but we were walking around like we own the world, and we somehow got up to a VIP section on stage with the DJ behind a rope.
Yeah.
And we're just standing there. We're drinking our drinks, and we eventually finished those. And then the way that we got in there was we just walked up, went underneath the rope, and then that was it. Yeah. We just
I would say we literally just walked. We walked. There was a path, and we just started walking through them. We were like, oh, I guess this is where we go.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't fit in anywhere else.
There weren't any. There was a couple people on the stage. It's not like it was a VIP. It was a VIP section. It's not like people could just go up there. But we went back to the bar, which was on that same floor. I ordered drinks, and the guy came up to the bartender. He's like, "Hey man, I got you doubles." That's fucking awesome. So we go back to the stage, and as I'm drinking,
but before we actually get back to the stage, that's when it started failing for me because as we were walking back to the stage, that's when the music started playing real crazy, and the lights started flickering so much. It went from green to red strobe lights, and it was switching so fast that I felt like I was blacking out every step, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like, I couldn't function, but I was and I was leading us, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going, and I got to the one point where it was going up onto the stage, and I stopped, and everyone was like, keep going, and I'm like, oh, and so then I just kept walking. Yeah, I was literally I'm blacking out. I'm like, this is crazy. The lights were fucking with me so hard. Yeah. But then we got back up there.
We get up. We go back on stage. We're drinking our drinks. We finish our drinks, and then we're leaving. But before we finish, there's this group of 3 women behind me, and all of the 4 of you are talking amongst yourselves. I'm not away from the group, but I'm just kind of looking around, and one of the girls bumps into me, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And I see one of them is has the bachelorette sash on or whatever. I'm like, "Oh, you're getting married. Congratulations." And she's like, "Oh, thank you very much." And then she like, I think she bumps into me again, or something. Like, I can't remember like how the interaction started, but I'm just like, "No, it's fine, it's fine." And then I turn around to like look at you guys, and then she says, "She's just so horny," and I just was like, I looked around and I'm like, am I the only one who heard this? And then I can't remember how much longer we were there, but then we started to head out, and that's when I started to feel that like the lights were going, and I was like blacking out at like every step.
Yeah. And what's crazy is we're like glossing over a lot, because I mean, each bar we went to, I'm sure shit happened, but like
It's just what we remember.
one point you found a bachelorette hat.
That was the first bar. Yeah.
Okay, and then we were wearing that, and then one point I took it off of you, and I remember as soon as I took it off of you, like you were wearing it for a long time. No one said anything to you.
Yep.
I put it on my head for a second, and they said, "Oh my God, I love your hat."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Thanks." And you were like, "Fuck you." Like it was, because it was like
It was instant. And I was like, fuck you, man. I was wearing that hat for 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was so wild. But then after that strobe light paradise, that's when it went downhill for me, because we went to our last bar that we went to, and by the time I got there, I felt full drunk. I was like, I'm dizzy, I'm plumb fucked, and I'm like, this is when I throw up. And as we were walking up to the second floor of that bar, I had to stop, and I was like, I gotta sit down. I'm like, I'm dying right now. And so then we sat there for a little bit, and the rest of the guys went upstairs, and then myself, you, and Matt were down that second floor, and I just told you guys, I'm like, I need a trash can. And I fucking just chunked in this trash can, destroyed it. And then the guy who's working the bar, he was like, "Hey man, you can't be here." And I'm like, "Dude, just give me 2 seconds." And then he was like, "You really gotta leave." I'm like, I'm literally done. I'm like, "Can you hand me some tissues or like some napkins?"
Yeah.
Hand me napkins, wipe off my beard, throw them in the trash can. I was like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this. And then by the time I got down to that floor, I was like, I'm back to feeling like shit.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. It was just like you get like an adrenaline rush of like, I need to get out of here, or they're going to call like the ambulance.
Yeah. And so
Which is such like a quick, like someone's throwing up like, all right, ambulance time, let's get them.
Yeah. And so that's why I wanted to avoid that, because I was like, I literally just need to throw up. Threw up. Fine. I'm a throw up guy. I know that. So like we got down to the road, and then we got down to the main strip actually. And then that's when Matt was like, "Hey, can I get some food for you?" And I was like, my stomach's kind of messed up, but sure. Like I'm fine. Like I'm still there. I can remember everything. Like I wasn't like blackout drunk or anything. Like I can remember walking down the stairs. I can remember saying to him, "Yes, let's get me food." And I'm like, it's kind of iffy, but I'll try some food. Why not? And then we go to a hot dog stand, and I remember sitting there in line, and then he is like, "Hey, what do you want on your hot dog?" They have this, this, and this. And he was like, "They have onions, something else, and cheese." And I was like, "Please, for the love of God, no cheese. Please, no cheese." He's like, "Okay, sounds good." And he told the guy, like, everything else is fine, no cheese. And he got your order too, paid for us, which was awesome. And then he was like, "All right, let's go get these." And so like, I go to sit down on the sidewalk, and then you guys come over with the dogs, or as Mitch would call them, yappers.
Yep.
Came over with the yappers, and my yapper was just filled with cheese. Like it was nothing
yours
but
was
cheese.
filled with cheese. Mine was covered in onions. I don't remember even saying that I wanted onions.
Yeah,
and they were just so like they were pickled onions, so they were just pickles. So
it was
just so like the strong taste of just that. And I think you started to like feel better, because we were sitting next to this group of girls, and one of them was just she was also very hammered.
She was gone.
She was definitely blacked out, but she was talking to us in line.
Yes.
She walked past, and she's like, "Are you guys in line?" And we're like, "Yeah." And she's like, she sees the lines like out the ass, and she's like, "Can I stand here?" And I'm like, "I don't care. As long as you're not cutting us, I don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
So she does that, and then she goes and stands by the wall with her friends, like eating her hot dog. And she's like, "I recognize those guys." So she comes and sits next to us, and she's talking to us. She apparently is from Colorado.
Mm.
We're from Columbus. I think when we said we were from Columbus, I think she said like Idaho or something. Or Iowa. It was like, oh, that's far away. I was like, I mean, it wasn't that far. And she's like, that's all the way in Iowa or something. I was like,
yeah. I don't know what she was on about.
Yeah.
But I will say, she destroyed that yapper.
She fucking smashed it.
In 5 seconds. I remember eating like the edges of my yapper, so I didn't like get any of the cheese because I just felt like the cheese was gonna make me sick. And then I looked over to you talking to her, and she had hers gone. And I was like, you sat down after me. It was wild. And then after that, we got an Uber and we got out of there. The Uber.
Well, before we get there, this girl also just blurted out, "I'm just so horny," and I again thought, where are we? What is going on?
I didn't remember
if
that.
I said this, I would be in jail.
Oh, for sure.
What is going on?
For sure. I guess in Nashville it's different. I do not remember that.
No, it was the same thing, and I ignored that one. I didn't like look around because she was right there. So like, if I acknowledged it, she could tell.
Yeah.
But I think her friends heard it, and they were like, "All right, it's time.
Yeah,
we gotta
like,
go.
"Oh, get your yapper down your throat and let's get out of here." Yeah, it was wild. We also saw a fight that night. Remember?
Did.
Yeah, that was in the middle of the street. Yeah, these guys.
We are really like, we're trying to go over everything, but there's just so much. Like honestly, I would like if I would have done it sooner, I would have said let's break this into 2 episodes.
Probably should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so like to kind of keep going, we also had somebody trying to steal our
Uber.
Yeah, he was
while we were in the Uber already.
Yeah, getting ready to close the door. He's like, "Is this my Uber? Is this my Uber?" Like drunk as fuck, and is like getting into the Uber, and we're like, "No, dude,
The
no."
whole entire time, Matt has drank the same amount as us, and he's just like he's perfectly fine. He's like, "No, this isn't not drunk at all." He's like, "No, this is my Uber."
I didn't understand it. He should have been drunk.
And he's like,
everybody should have been drunk.
This Uber's for Matt.
Yeah, but
good point. We didn't ditch Mitch and John. They just said they wanted to stay out for a little longer.
Which they stayed out for maybe an hour longer. And I don't think they said even anything crazy happened.
Right.
They're like, we went to one more bar and it was whatever. But we got back. I immediately passed out.
Yeah.
I went to the couch where all of our Little Caesars pizzas was, and I fucking just passed out. Laid down, gone. And then everybody came back, and you guys continued to drink, or you guys just were hanging out?
Matt had said, if I go home with you two, me and you, will you drink with me? And I said, yeah, I'll drink with you. I didn't drink. I was like, we got back. I felt like shit.
Yeah.
I think I had a piece of pizza. At some point, I unbuckled my pants, and they were just around my ankles.
Yeah, I woke up the next morning with a picture of you with your pants down around your ankles, with your underwear still on. Yeah, but I was like, what the fuck happened?
I was just like, we were wearing jeans all fucking day, like even in the heat, and I was just so uncomfortable. And I just like, we're all dudes. Like half of them are my family.
Yeah.
So like,
that's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. So I'm just like, I walk in, or they walk in, John and Mitch. They walk in from like the back, and I just like walk around the corner. My pants are around my ankles, and I'm like eating a piece of pizza. And like, hey, what's going on?
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Then that next day, the wildest thing happened. I woke up. I was great. I felt fantastic. And then Andy rolls in. And you had the worst hangover
of my life.
Yeah, and like from me, I was like, I felt whatever. And then honestly, I started eating pizza, and then I opened up another beer. Like I cracked open another beer.
It's the hair of the dog.
While I was eating that pizza at like,
I couldn't believe it. I looked 10? At you and I was like, you are fucking insane. It wasn't until like 1:00 in the afternoon where like we finally like got up and started moving, and I was like, I had taken a shower, I took another nap, I was laying on the other couch in the living room, and Matt came back with Excedrin, and I like that kind of helped me get better. But then we went out and like to get some barbecue.
Great barbecue. No, you disagree?
No.
You disagree?
I don't-
That's right, because you were like,
Well, no, but like I also just didn't like it.
oh, I thought it was good.
Well, what did you get?
I got the brisket.
Okay. I didn't get the brisket. I didn't know what I could get because I wanted to eat it so bad, but I also like I felt like if I ate anything, it just wasn't gonna stay down.
Yeah, we also ate extremely hot food in the middle of like 95-degree weather.
Yeah,
like, it was so fucking hot. We were sweating while eating, and we weren't even eating anything hot, like spicy wise. Like we were just sweating because it was so hot.
Everyone's like we're sitting at like a picnic table outside. Everyone's like over here, and I'm there's 5 of us, so like one person's gonna be like off to the side. I'm that one person, but I feel like I'm 100 miles away, and I'm like sitting there like this, just staring at my food. Once again, like 1,000-yard stare, bombs going off around me, and everyone starts looking at me like, Andy, are you okay? Or like, yeah, I'm just taking my time.
Yep.
And the biggest problem was, I mean, like the pulled pork was fine, but it was just a mass of meat.
Yeah.
There was no like, it wasn't a sandwich or anything. And then like the baked beans were okay. I think the baked beans were the favorite of the 3 things I got. But then there was also the mac and cheese that just didn't taste good. That was my biggest gripe. So just for the sake of time, and I might break this up into 2 episodes, just like faded in and out between this week and the next week. But John was really upset that we didn't get to go out the next night, like on Sunday, like Sunday night. So he, like, not really upset, but he was like, we went out to get drinks that night. At like we decided that we were gonna stay in and we were just gonna hang out, and drink some beer there. He was talking about, he's like, I really wanted to go out tonight. And I was like, I mean, like, I hear you, man, but there is no way that I could have done it. And he's like, if I would have gotten Mitch to do it, I think we all would have been able to go out. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to be the one person to say no, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like hot shit.
Yeah, which we more than made up for that night. Because we were like, look, we probably shouldn't get too fucked up because we got to drive the next day. We were only in Nashville for 3 days, right?
Something like that.
Like 2 and some change almost.
Yeah, it was Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday we left.
Yeah, so like we weren't there for very long. It was just a nice little trip, whatever. But we then continued our drinking at the house with drinking games, and honestly, we might have drank.
We drank the rest of the beer. We were saying that like we had to get rid of the beer.
Yeah, so we went through,
which is wild because we went out and got more beer.
Yeah, we went through what, 320? No, not 324 packs.
The Modelo was in like, they were in like 15 packs, and Matt drank that by himself in like the first night.
Yeah,
and
we had to go out and get another 24 pack, right? So, and I think we started off with like 3 or 2. Maybe it was 2 24 packs.
I think between you and I, we got Yingling.
I think I shared your 24 pack.
Okay. So
because I was like, why do we need to buy 2 things?
So there was the one between you and us. Mitch had Budweiser, and then John must have grabbed something. Whether it was a 24 pack or like a 12 pack or something. And then Matt had his Modelo 15. It was a lot of beer.
Oh yeah.
Regardless.
And then we got more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they also brought beer too. Yeah, Mitch brought beer.
I brought Spotted Cow.
Yeah, Jesus. Yes, you did bring a Spotted Cow. So I mean, we had a ridiculous amount, and we almost finished it off that last night in Nashville.
Yeah. And
I mean, that was another night where we got plumb fucked that night. I mean, John almost threw up that night. Because we played multiple games with Kings.
Yeah, which Mitch lost again.
He lost every single one of those. We played 4 or 5.
He lost. I don't think he lost all of them that night, but I know he lost the last 2, and they were in a row. And the last 2, they were down to like 4 cups. The last one was down to 1, and like you flip the card, and it wasn't a king, and he was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was the most intense, like, last, like, 8 cards of kings ever. Because, like, we drew the first 2 kings within, like, the first 3 turns or something. It was fucking mad.
Oh, yeah.
But the within that first night, I completely forgot about this. Joe wasn't able to come. He wasn't able to. Joe is my brother. He was, for those of you that have listened to the podcast, he was on an episode very early on. He wasn't able to come, so he FaceTimed us, and he was talking to us. And John was already pretty hammered. We were all pretty hammered already. And John says, hold on, Joe, let me show you these chickens. And he walks out into the darkness. Like, he's like showing his screen, like he's like trying to like show off like the chickens, but it's just black. It's a black screen, and we're all losing our minds, Joe included. We're just screaming. We're like, we can't fucking see anything.
That's because not only was John sharing his screen, but Joe called us in our Facebook group, which had everybody in it. So everybody at that table was FaceTiming Joe at the same exact time, and we were all in different locations. Mitch was in the kitchen, John was outside in the pitch black, Andy and I and Matt were all at the table talking different conversations to each other.
We
while
can't
talking
hear
to
shit because we also have music going.
Oh yeah, we have music going. We got so drunk that night that we had to stop because we got so drunk so fast. We were like, we don't have any food. Like, we were like, we're getting blasted right now. Like, we all felt so drunk, and we were like, we need to get food.
Well,
and beer, and we got more beer. Which then they got the nasty king cup. John got the black and tan. Yeah. So then we ordered even more pizza after having pizza the previous night. We were so fucking clogged up from pizza and cheese that it was absurd. But because we got Little Caesars the second night, and then we got Domino's that night.
And surprisingly, the Domino's is good because they season the shit out of everything, but there's just fucking never any sauce. And it's the worst thing because a pizza needs sauce.
Yeah. And honestly, Little Caesars, it was so fucking good. God, that pizza was so good. I think everybody almost not ate that whole entire pizza that night and then went out and
No, Matt didn't. Mitch did. Mitch can fucking he can pack on fucking food, and he's as thin as a fucking stick.
Yeah, and then he just went out and drank.
Yeah,
it was crazy. But
which surprised me. Mitch is now a police officer. I don't know if I'm able to say that. I feel like I am. Either way,
I mean, he just drank.
I know.
Like, we did anything illegal.
We didn't do anything illegal. But I'm just like, I don't know if like that's whatever. He's not a police officer, so he's taking care of his body like really well. He's in really good shape, so he hasn't drank in a long time. So I just like, and I knew him in college. Like he could pack some beers, he can drink a lot. So I just figured he couldn't do it anymore. He was by far, other than Matt, the fucking like tankiest.
Yeah, though I should say, that last night, which he had to get on a plane the next day, he did throw up at 4 a.m. because I was in the same room as him, and I heard him in the morning throwing up at 3 or 4 a.m, and then he got up at 7 to leave, and I was like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But going back to that of like who could drink the most, Andy talked me up to these guys so goddamn much because Andy thinks I'm like a full-blown alcoholic.
I didn't. No, the thing is, at the time, you had been drinking to like a buzz every single night.
I mean, I got a nice little buzz going, but nothing crazy.
But it was like at the point where I was like, Isaac's gonna fucking just drink everyone under the table.
No, I've never been able to do that.
I was expecting because John also doesn't drink very much anymore, and he often says, I've had like 2 beers, and like John's a tall guy. He and Mitch are both tall. John has a little bit more weight on him, like behind him than Mitch does. And he says like, I drank like 2 beers, and I'm like, I'm feeling it. But that's just how some people are sometimes. And he also, like, it's a mentality thing. Like, if you know you're going to get hammered, you just flip a switch and you get hammered.
Yeah.
And
that's me. Like, if I'm drinking with people, I'm drinking, like, and I'm drinking fast. Like, I don't, like, there's no stop. Like, when one's down, I'm getting another one, and I'm right to it. Like, people like to sip on their drinks. I'm like, let's fucking go, and then I'm done in like 2 hours, and I'm like, I'm destroyed, and they're like, we're still going.
This is how my roommate is. She'll grab a can of her beer, crack it open, and she'll still be drinking it in like 2 hours. Same beer.
No.
For me, I'm on beer 3. I usually try to do like 1 beer every hour, but like depending on how it's going, I might be on beer 3.
Mm-hmm. No, I would be on like 5 at that point. If we're on 2 hours, like, and we're drinking with people.
If we're drinking with people, then I'm drinking more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wild. Like, I don't understand how we drank that much at the end, but we were also just trying to get rid of all of our beer. But I mean, the wildest that stuff really happened. I mean, that was pretty much our Nashville trip.
And I feel like we're still skimming over things.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we did a ton of stuff.
There was a bunch of just like sightseeing and like other, like, walking around Nashville during the day, but the parts that were like wild were what we covered.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, there was conversations that we had that I'm sure, if we could remember fully from after drinking, that were just incredibly, like, great. And it was just, I mean, we had a fun time. Like, as much as we didn't go out, and, you know, maybe we should have that last night, but like, fun time.
Yeah.
Fun time for sure. Like, and like I said, we saw plenty of things that I'm sure we'll probably mention just more and more throughout the different podcast episodes. But Nashville was a great time. We so pissed off that we couldn't get that chicken before we left too.
I know.
I was like, I made the joke, I was like, guys, we could have some hot chicken before we leave. And John was like, I actually might do that. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm down for it.
I think by the time we were leaving, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning when we were leaving, and it opened at 11. And I mean, if we could have done it, but we would have just been sitting around somewhere in Nashville. What are we going to do? Yeah.
And on top of it, you know, we're going to eat all this hot food and probably be blowing chunks out of our ass the whole entire time on a 6-hour ride.
Take a break every like hour to make sure that we weren't shitting ourselves.
For sure. Which then I just forgot about it until now. Which, like, I mean, fuck it. Who cares? I'll just say it. This will be a long episode. Whatever. Whenever we were driving back from Nashville, we couldn't find a place that was actually open to go to the bathroom. We all had to take such a huge piss, and we got to Burger King, and Burger King was not fucking open. What is the places not having their doors open anymore?
Yeah, the dining room was closed, but the drive-thru was open, so it was very deceiving. We pulled in, we went up to the door, and then there was a guy that pulled in after us. He also tried going in, and he seemed pissed. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom too.
Well, he absolutely did.
We ended up going around the corner to a McDonald's, and the idea of those McDonald's workers watching 3 grown men just go into a bathroom that only has a urinal and a toilet.
Yeah.
Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. That was after too. We were like, we're fine. And then we waited an hour, and then we were all lying to each other because we didn't say we wanted to stop. And then we all were like, I'm going to die. Like, I might actually piss in a bottle.
We might blow up here.
Yeah. It was bad, man. Mm-hmm. And then we couldn't even use the fucking toilet because it was blown up. Somebody blew it up.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You went into there and you're like, I'm not pissing in that. I'm not doing it.
No one could. It was a quarantine section. Like, you couldn't fucking go in there. It was wild. It was Chernobyl. Fuck. Like, the radiation just would get you. Like, it was wild. For whatever reason, McDonald's just don't believe in cleaning their bathrooms.
No.
That's
Never.
Just a fact.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I get you're not getting paid much, but, like, clean your shitters, you know? Like, it's just gross. But, like, It was awful. Food, though, we smashed some McDonald's right
Of
after
course,
that because it was well needed.
Yeah.
Well needed for sure.
Well, it was either that or more Domino's pizza.
Yes.
Which the thought of it just like made us want to throw up.
Yeah, I had a piece when we were driving, and I'm like, that's probably enough for me. Because that was like our leftovers.
It was like we had a whole entire pizza, and you and I had one, and it was like, I'm going to be sick. Yeah. This is just...
And John was at the point where he felt incredibly hungover, and he was the one driving. And he was like, "I'm not eating pizza.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I can't do that again.
Yeah, I'm not doing it," because he drank an incredible amount of that last night to the point where he almost threw up as well. And I was like, man, so much for us not going hard on that last night to make this drive easier for us. But I think me and you were fine that next day.
Yeah.
I was drunk.
I
was pissed drunk.
I took it very easy that last night because I did not want to be that hungover again.
I think we finally got Matt to the point where he was drunk last night because he got fucked in all the games, and he was drinking so much more than everyone else that like you could start to tell like the gears were slipping on him, and I was like, yes, about fucking time, dude. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, like it's like took every single night of getting him absolutely just trashed to like him hit our level. And I was like, thank God. I'm like, you're no longer like...
You're not a robot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not on that drinking robot level anymore. Like, we got you down to the fucking pits with us. Get shit on. But it was just funny to see him drunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time. That drive back, same thing, not too bad. And like I said, I'm sure we skimmed over so fucking much because we had a shit ton happen during that weekend. But hey, we talked about Nashville, Andy. That might be the first episode where we stayed on track.
That was a lot. I can't believe that we went through all of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long episode.
Hey, you said you want to talk about Nashville. We talked about Nashville.
Don't you fucking gaslight me. You were the one who said we got to get through Nashville.
We do. And then we had a lot of shit happen. We left a ton of shit out.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like I said, we had plenty of conversations that night that were just didn't make sense. Just with people either in Nashville, or we saw shit that happened in Nashville and we're like, what is that? Or a ton of shit. I mean, it was, But we didn't even talk about the boot barn and how we were in there for like 10 fucking hours.
Yeah, we were in there for a long time.
Yeah.
But we can just keep on going. So we're gonna cut it here. This has been the Friendship and Stupidity podcast, the official friendship podcast of Nashville, apparently. If you have the opportunity to go to Nashville, bring some friends.
Absolutely.
Get drunk.
Absolutely.
We will definitely be there again.
Especially if you're not of the age. Drink it up, boy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Get that fake ID. You know what I'm saying? Just get in there, get on all the places you can get with that fake ID, get trash. You know what I'm saying?